All right, welcome everybody. Doing some Starfinder prep, making sure we can be heard, which we can. Excellent. Going to start off with a quote. I want to roll to intimidate the arrow into missing. Yeah, good old Micah. All right, so taking a look at this. Give me just a second here. I am VXing something. All right, so what we're doing is we're doing some prep for the group I call Finding Stars. It is, I'm using the Starfinder Society organized play scenarios. I do want to change my background, so give me just a second. I will do that. We're doing some, that's more science-y. There we go. All right. And so the scenario we're working on is called The Fugitive of the Red Planet. On the Red Planet, we are, I've read through it, have an idea of the what's going on and what's happening, the different scenarios that are going to happen and things. A thief has stolen something from Absalom Station Starfinder Society, and they're moving it to the he took it away to a planet called Akaton. So those of you who let me go ahead and pull these up. So Akaton is similar to Mars. It has, there's the map, here's the world. So it looks like that. Here's this map of the surface. There's this huge chasm that splits almost the entire world, going around it in almost like a belt. It has frozen polar ice caps. Majority of it is now desert. So what I did was besides just reading that, I also have the book Packed Worlds. Physical copy, also the Fancy Guns version. Here's the map. I'll show you here in a moment. And read, boned up a little bit on Akaton itself, because I've after many years of doing this, I think I have finally ingrained into my players of Starfinder that this is not D&D. Although D&D players don't do it either, but you can research. Somebody tells you, hey, you have to go to Akaton. Don't just jump in your ship and take off and show up and say, ooh, this is a pretty cool place. What's this about? As much as we Google things today, imagine the future, how much easier it is going to be to find out information. So, point being, I have ingrained in them research, research, research. They tell you, go to this building, look it up. Look it up on Starfinder, Google, and look at the map, Google Maps and things. And so they've been doing this so far. The last session we had, one of my players said, hey, I'm going to go, we're supposed to go to this warehouse. I want to go online and find the blueprints to this place. So I was very happy when I heard that. So, anywho, this is the first where they get the info dump from the person who's giving them the quest. Venture Captain Arvin. I then found one thing I did before I started the stream. So they're looking after, trying to find this guy named Reynold Talbot. Well, his picture doesn't show up until they actually confront him, which is the last thing that happens in this scenario. So I went and found it because, again, they would have access to many images of Reynold Talbot. And boom, there he is. So I moved it and put it down here. So you go here. So I'm in the story. So what I did is I came to here on the side where it says World Story, and I found the this is Fugitive on a Red Planet. Boom. And I went to the first one and then pulled it down here. And I mean, no, I didn't. I went to the book. So it says here, story, getting started, and book. So I actually went here to where it says library and then books. I'm going to go ahead and change the scale UI to 110 because I forgot. There you go. Makes it a little easier to read now. So everything is bigger now, so I have less space. So I got to move everything over. All right, so come over here to books. I then went down here to right here, Fugitive on a Red Planet. Click the Paizo symbol, and now I've got the book. And then you take it from the Paizo symbol where it says drag record link down to my hotkey. So I now have access to that without having to go through that several step process. Just click on this, boom, and it shows up. Or hit F8 because it's in the 8 slot, and that'll pop it up too. Once I did that, like I said, you can read through it. You can go here we go. So if you're reading it in the book itself, it's like reading through the PDF. And it makes it nice. And you can go through all these different things. What I did is I popped out getting started by clicking the Paizo symbol. So it has all the fancy things and stuff. And then I can make changes to it. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I don't need this right now. So now that I have access to it, I go through and so again, here's where we are. This is where we're talking to the captain. He gives him the information. I added the image of him because, again, they're going to have access to that. So then there's other questions back and forth. Do we need special gear? Blah, blah, blah. Now the next page talks about Akaton. They do culture checks to learn about Akaton. So having done an info dump myself, read through it on the book and stuff like that, Impact Worlds, as I mentioned, what I'm doing is I'm just clicking. I want these images in a minute, so I just click minimize, or you can right click, minimize, makes a little bubble. You can then move it around. When you open it again and minimize it again, it pops back to where they were in both cases. Makes it easy to mess around with. Anyway, so I added the world map, the two images I showed you about Akaton, and now there are 5 main races living on Akaton. And so I grabbed the Akeshti images, So we're just going to go through and I'm going to add these images to my story entry right here so I don't have to look them up later. I'm just going to click all these real quick, and I'll look back at them in a minute, figure out which one I want. All right, I may have spelled it wrong, so let me take a look and see. I'm going to go to my book, going to Packed Worlds. So what I try to do is you can have multiple hotkeys. So my chat is bleeding into my hotkeys. So if you right click on the chat box anywhere, unlock it, and then right click again, reset it, boom, puts everything back where it should be. So I have regular hotkey, shift. So shift has a lot of my cheat sheets and things that I want. So I have stuff like your mic is all better now. Yes. Spent about 45 minutes banging my head against the wall, trying all these different things to get my mic to work. Biggest problem was it just was not showing up anywhere on my computer. And everywhere on the internet and everywhere the research showing was activate, find it on your list, and then you can download the app files. All right. So yeah, it just wasn't showing up at all, and so I finally ended up totally changing USB. I have a deck that has like a dozen, 10 or so USB ports, and just forgot that one completely and moved it to a different USB, and I finally got it to the computer to recognize it, and everything was back to normal. So, not sure what happened, but yes, my mic is all better now. Thank you, Mr. Drake. Those of you who aren't familiar with Drake, check him out. Does live play D&D on the Twitches. He also has a big YouTube channel, lots of cool campaigns and stuff. So definitely check him out. Rob talking about a bad USB port one time. Yeah, I said I didn't do anything; it was working just fine. The only reason I knew it wasn't working is because you guys said, "Hey, your mic's hot." No, it's not. I muted it. Same way I mute it every other time, and found out it was actually using my camera mic. So, anyhoozle, by holding Shift, that's where all my that's the shortcut key I use for my documents and tables and things like that. So I do that all across all my, trying to get it to where it's now across all my campaigns and across all my tables that I play on as well. So stuff like the core rule book is here and the character advancement for the XP, stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and drag the Starfinder book down here as well. my conditions, alignments, faith, how to identify creatures, poisons, languages, all that's all in my shift hotkey. My main hotkeys I use for current and upcoming sessions. So the current book that we're in, for example, is right here. Boom. My group photo of my party. Pretty cool. I keep on my main page. All right, so anyway, we're pulling information so that when my party decides to go there, they're then going to, I won't have to find it in the books and find images. Everything will be there. When they find out about the races, I can show them pictures of the races and stuff. So, go here. I just wanted to residence. Hylki, Hylki. I was right. So could have sworn there was a picture of one of them in the book. Okay, I guess there is no book. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is a person. That's why it doesn't show up as the race. So, Bahal Ios. All right, so what I can do is then, if you open up the image by clicking on the piezo symbol, you can then click here and say it's unidentified. Okay, it says read only. Really? Okay. So it says something read only. WotC will sometimes do that as well. What you have to do is you have to make a copy of it. It's very easy to do. Just click it and drag it. So then what I'm actually going to do, instead of what I was just talking about, I'm just going to change the name. So they are Akatonian humans named Hylki. And actually contemplative would be first. Contemplatives are awesome. All right, so what I do is I just go down the list, open them all, and then take a look and see which one I want to use. All right. This is a person. His name is Ashok. No, I'm not going to use him. So this one is an armored contemplative. It's more of a regal, royal, noble contemplative. It's the same thing. Using the non-visible mental powers. That's just a more basic. So I don't really care for him. This is the one I'm used to seeing. Same thing as this one without the white background. So we'll go ahead and do this. So this one, this for scale, this is about 3 to 4 feet, and this is about the size of a Barbie doll. Very cool race. All right, so we will put an extra line in here. Trying to play with Hyoki Ikeshti, so the Ikeshti I already have open. Cool thing about the Ikeshti is one, they're small, so that he's about 2.5, 3 feet tall, but he can shoot blood out of his eyes for up to 6 feet. Very cool. And then they live this way throughout most of their adult life. And then when they turn like the equivalent of a 50-year-old, they then mature and go into the reproductive phase, and they convert and change into this reaver, where they're just extremely sexually active and have to mate. So we're going to go ahead and put on the Akatonian Ikeshti. So again, I'm going to go ahead and change this to... So what this does is when I share the image, they will see Akatonian Lizard Folk Standard. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Delete this. So I'm going to go ahead and make it unidentified. And when you do that, if you just share it, it will say unidentified. But you can also change this. So I'm just going to change this to Akeshti. So now when I share it, it will simply say Akeshti. So normally I'll do things like if they don't know what the monster is, instead of saying unidentified monster, it will say weird red lizard or blood shooting lizard, something like that. Is what I try to do. I don't like sharing an image that says unidentified. All right, so now we have Shobad. Let's take a look at our Shobad. He's not really standard. I don't think I need the book anymore. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Here's a Shobad musician. Broken image. It's the same image as that. So if you noticed from our group photo, our uplifted bear is wearing headsets. Her archetype is audio for sight, and so she actually has theme music. When she's listening to music, she gets bonuses. When she gets higher levels, she'll be able to play music out loud or share it, in the comms to the rest of the group and give the group bonuses. So she's all about music. The reason I mention that is I'm going to go ahead and share the musician image as well as the regular Shobot image. I want to make sure I have enough space, so I hit enter a couple times. Here's the Shobot. Close these. And last one is Isoki. So Isoki are very common. I'm just going to grab the pair. Use this image. Boom. All right, so now when my group does the actual close research on them, close combat tracker, don't need it right now. They'll have images of the world, and they'll have the main races that are on it. Again, it really just depends on how much they care. They can also open up the book. There's also in the core rule book go all the way down to the bottom. The Packed Worlds. Hackathon. I'm going to open this up. So there's this little blurb. I will go ahead and put this in here as well. So now if they want to read it, for what's in the core rule book, they can. Boom. See, slightly less well known are the red-skinned Ikeshi lizard folk who make model citizens until their reproductive cycle drives them violently insane. Any hoozle, they doesn't look like they mentioned the hill key in this one. But it's in the core rulebook. And it might be. I didn't actually read what the core rulebook says. I was reading through the Packed Worlds. So, anyway, so now I have more information than they'll ever want. Me, as a player, I would love that tough stuff, and I would eat that up, and I would find it and at least skim through it. But I have one player who might care, and the other ones, honestly, just depends on the phase of the moon. Sometimes they're really into it, sometimes they're not. All right, so now they arrive on Akaton. There's, as the shuttle lands, it does so beneath the backdrop of an immense mural of brightly glowing neon green graffiti that reads, "Get out, planet's broke." I love it. All right, they go to Digger's Dive, which is a single-story structure built using imported wood. No windows, small rectangular openings in the exterior walls to allow for ventilation. All right, so here's the map. I want to check and make sure the map has lighting and stuff. Lighting and line of sight. It's not as important here. It's just because they are meeting different people and things. It looks like it does have line of sight. So let's go ahead and test it and see. Open up here. Toggle the toolbar. Oh, line. Wrong one. And then open up unlock with the little lock. All right. So I like the compass they use on this one. Pretty cool. We're going to open up the combat tracker so we can grab a token. I'm just going to add an NPC instead of using the PCs. Go here to campaign. I'm going to close some of these down. He is a gargantuan creature. So I was trying to check and see. Aeon Guard, I think, is normal humanoid. Yep, a medium humanoid. Oof. Throw him in here. He doesn't have to be hostile. He can just be none. Alright, we'll drop him on. Poof. Alright, see, nice. All these cool stuff now. Beacon now, cool. That's amazing. Alright, so there is a wall dividing there. Go. Alright, so it's one bathroom, two sides. Okay, cool. They weren't so specific that they put doors and walls where the stalls are, which is fine. I don't expect there to be a lot of combat in the bathroom, although you never know. Here's some sort of a VIP. Oh, it's a storage or behind the bar. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There are rats in my cellar. Get the rats out. All right. Cool. So this is set up pretty well. I don't care too much for the grid. So we're going to fix the grid here. Cool. There's the outside. Everything looks good. Not really going to mess with it too much regarding lighting or anything else. It's set. It's good. I like it. Don't see there a need for any other type of effects or stuff like that. All right, and then here's some encounters. So they linked the encounters for me, which is nice. We will, and all the different explanations of what is in the different rooms. Perfect. So it says common room. Faint electric lights dangle from the ceiling, while the open sky is visible from cracks between the planks that serve as the roof. Floor is wood. Tavern is divided in two halves by an energy field with an opening on a northern end. The bar lining the southern wall is open to either side, with a wall of half-empty bottles behind it. The tables are wooden. All right, so it simply says the tavern is divided in two halves by an energy field. Okay. So there are some townsfolk, and this is where they meet the people from Apador Corp. So what happened was the guy thought he stole a philosopher's stone, which was supposed to change the magic item that changes substances, and he came here. There used to be a big flow of this mineral used to make fuel for rocket ships, space travel. Well, about 300 years ago, everything changed, and they stopped using that fuel hardly at all. And so the demand plummeted, and so everybody left Akaton. The mineral is still here, it's just not as much demand. So this guy came here and is taking that mineral and changing it using this magic item into the new stuff, the new fuel. The problem is he does not realize that what he has is a fake stone that casts an illusion uh, and wears off after a period of time. So he made this huge sale to the biggest corporation in the galaxy, in the Pact World, I should say, and sold them a bunch of this stuff. They paid him, and the townspeople are all happy and everything. He's in the process of duplicating that process a bunch of times, and then it reverted back. He doesn't even realize that that's what happened, but there are now bounty hunters here to come get him from the corporation. So there's townsfolk and corporate people in here. So I'm probably going to add some tokens. Let's take a look at the Abadar Corp representatives. This is going to be a CR5. Alright, I'm just curious what the difference is between these. Okay, they're just different levels, so they have different things. So we're going to change the name. We're going to look at the icons used to represent them. I use the 2D map, so we're also going to add a energy field here. If we can. It might be trying to find an energy field in the assets. We'll have to see if we can find it. Let's see. So first of all, let's focus on fixing these first. It's my personal pet peeve. I despise having the letters there. So let's see where it places them. We add them to the tracker. Look at the map. All right, so they're sitting at this table over here. Easy enough. Now I go here, click on menu, delete from tracker, only foes. Now we go back to our encounter. So we're going to go ahead and minimize this for now. Minimize. Picture, move it over here. Here's the picture of one of the cities in Akaton. I don't think we need this. We're going to close it. All right, so this here is the same as this here. So let's go ahead and first of all, we're going to unplace the two bodyguards because we're going to put them back on there in a minute. And if we don't remove them from the map, it won't update the tokens. I'm going to open this up. And these are Vesk bodyguards. So if you unlock it, go to pictures, this is what we've got. So now I go to my assets, which is under library, assets. This is really big, so like any window, just hold control, left click and drag to resize the window any way you want. And we're going to type in Vesk. Okay, right now we're in images. So we want all because we want tokens and images. So for the picture, for our 2D version, token view, and the map token view. I need to get in the habit of saying token view. Vesk. All right, so here we have full body people. We could use for the picture. I like this one. That's cool. It's good bodyguard in my opinion. So what I'm looking for, there we go. Boom. All right, so we have 2 out of the 3 things we want. All right, so these aren't web pics, which is annoying. But what I can do is I can drop this first. Boom. Then we can take this, drop this into the picture. Boom. And then if I wanted to, I could just drop it right into the camera view and just use this on the 2D view. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take the moment. It doesn't take that long. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this puppy up, make it bigger. Go to my snipping tool. Save it. I just put it in downloads to start off with. This is Vesk. Armored. And then we close this. And now I go to my Internet Explorer. I use Bing right now. Doesn't matter which one you use. You go to pixlr.com, pixlr.com. I used the free version for a long time, and which is plenty. I really don't need anything else. And so I supported them for a couple years. Got the upgraded version, but the free version is plenty for what I need. I open image, go to downloads, Vesk, open, and then it's very simple. Click. They have an AI version of this as well. There we go. Background removed. So now we file, save, as a PNG, save, downloads, Vesk Armored PNG. So if we come here to picture.com, there is the AI remove background. Just for RNG, we'll see this is the original. So boom. So it did almost Same thing I did, except it missed this part over here, this section right here. Um, this one is actually a pretty well defined image. Some of the harder images it doesn't read as well, so I just do it myself. It's just easier. All right, so now I've got that. We then go to my file, and I go to downloads. And then you move it into Fantasy Grounds, Images, Battle Maps, NPCs. Boom. Okay, and then the last thing we do is I go to, gotta remember where I put it. Wrong button. All right, there's a program that Josh Watma, I believe, is the one who put it out. Where is it? It is. I thought I had it right here on my desktop. It's one of the few things I used. Oh, here it is. All right, so what this does is it fixes the size of the images. Okay, where'd it go? Here it is. So right now, if you just take, like we just did the PNG, and make it a two-dimensional token, it'll be based on the image size is based on the size. Let me start that again. The token size is based on the image size. So if you have really high def, 1000 pixel high image of a goblin, it's going to be 6 feet tall when you import it. So this fixes all that. So the first thing you do is drag and drop an image to define. So load image. Actually, no, drag and drop. Can't read. All right, so go back. Here are my images, downloads. It's now, in Fantasy Grounds. Images, battle maps, NPCs. Drag and drop. And now you click on Set Clip Region. Set Clip Region. Set the clipping region. Click the top left of the clip area. Press space to skip. So we don't need to do this one. We're doing the measurement region. Set a region with a known height or width. So, like if it's an alligator, you know how wide it is. These guys, I know how tall they are. So click the top left. So the top left is going to be here. This is the top of its head. And then the bottom right is actually going to be in between these two. Because the way he's standing, so if he's 7 feet tall, we're going to do it from between the two. If I do it all the way down here on the bottom, it's going to make him closer to 8 feet tall. So we'll stick it right here and go to the right. So that's where it's going to be measuring from here to here. Should be within feet. or height in feet. So we're going to put height in feet. He is 7.2 feet high. Expected grid height is 1 because he's a medium creature. And then set center floor. Scale is set. Click on set center floor location. So again, this is left to right. Where is the floor? So we're going to stick the floor in the middle, but right there. This is where the floor is going to be. And then click on save. Save. Boom, there it is. Armored Vesk. Now we close all this down, pull up our fantasy grounds again. Now we go here to our assets. We click refresh folder assets. Vesk armored right here. It's free. You can see it says battle maps, NPCs. That's perfect. So now we take and drag this over to here. Boom. And so now when we apply him to the, we look at his token on the 2D map, we will see him as about 7'2" compared to everybody else. That's like that's what I did for this. I then use their token height. So when we play and we look at the 2D token view, you will see that this guy who is 7.5 feet tall towers over the dwarf. All right. Anyway, so now we have him. And what we do is we drag this NPC. We then go here to unlock this. Drag this guy in, and we take him and go right click, delete, change this to 2. Vesk is done. We'll take a look at this guy. He is. I don't do this with every NPC. All right, so he's a Sheeran. Again, we're in all. We're looking at Sheeran. This guy is armored. Taking a look and seeing what the differences are. Neither one of these are really close to the image we have here. I'll use this guy. He's close. He's the closest. Unlock it. Starfinder operations manual images. Okay. Why isn't this letting me drag it? That's weird. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Maybe because they're JPEGs, they won't fit in here. I could have sworn they could. All right, so something is, what am I doing wrong with this here? Pictures. There we go. All right. Just had to reopen it and redo it. Okay. All right. So because this is sharing operations manual, we're going to open the map again. So I want to have these images available to share. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and place them. So you drag not from here, but from here. We're going to put them at the table. The two bodyguards are going to be on these sides, and the person they're guarding is going to be back here. Then we're going to go to images. Come on, there we go. Images, Vesk. The one we want is the one I made, which is Vesk Armored. Okay, so it's not showing here, so we go here to, actually I'm trying to remember which one this was, but this is, go to our assets again. Actually I'm going to go here to the shearing. We'll do him first since I already have them open. So he is character operations manual right here. Boom. That's him. We're then going to drop this pin here. Boom. Sharon. Back to the Vesk images. Back to the images here. I'm happy with this guy. He's Starfinder near space Vesk. So we go Vesk. Starfinder near space. There he is. Bloop, bloop. There's the two images right there on the map, so I don't have to look for them. Don't have to find them again. They can see what they look like. So they don't have the rest of the people there. Again, this is just gathering information that they can have. So they go to the mining town. Here we go. All right. Citizens meander around the bar in good cheer. Most are Yusoki and humans, the occasional lumbering four-armed shobad mingling among them. Okay, so this is the specifics of the bar itself. So they said they were wandering around it. So once you go inside, Several miners and their families occupy the bar. A sharp-tongued Yosoki named Podswald slings drinks behind the bar. So we need a Yosoki bartender, and we need miners and their families. So easy enough. Go to assets, go to tokens, start with Yosoki. Now again, they're going to be in here. There may or may not be a combat depending on how there really shouldn't be a combat with these guards. But the point is they're not going to be in here very long. So we don't have to spend hours getting this to be exactly right. And I say that to you because I'm saying it to myself. I will spend, I will make this whole 3D map. I will put the tokens of each table in there, go through all this thing, spend 3 or 4 hours on a map where they will come in, talk to people, and leave. So I have to temper myself. Calm down. It's okay. All right, so here's the Yosoki. I can't believe that's the only one I have. I'm going to get rid of the grid while I'm thinking about it. Let's fix the grid. Come here to tint. I'm going to change it to like a yellowish, more subtle. Make it a little bit less subtle, because my players like the grid. I don't like the grid pretty much ever, even during a fight. And then I'm going to turn it off. So most of the time, it came with a grid already. Boo. So never mind, I won't even need the grid because it came with one already. Anyway, I don't like the grids. So here's our bartender. They're actually going to be smaller. Click on the play version. Click, it's a token, so we're going to bring it down. So I could also paint, make a paint layer of the people here. By having them be tokens, they can then be moved around. Paint layers can also be moved around and stuff, but it's all right. I can't believe that's the only Yosoki I have in tokens. That makes no sense. Anyway, let me go to portraits. Let me see what I have for Yosoki. All right, so we have some portraits over here. I don't think these, I think I'm gonna have to make these a paint layer. We'll go here. We'll just add a layer. Add these as layers, and we're gonna put plus. Add a folder down here. And we're gonna double click it to say patrons. And we click on that. We click on the stamp. Put this Yosoki here. Make it 1. Actually, it's a little less than that. So 0.7. He's going to be sitting over here. This guy, 0.7. I'm going to put him over here against the wall. .7. We're gonna put him here, talking to his friend, and we'll also have him be over here. See if they notice. All right, now we'll do showbot. We'll go back to tokens. So because they're tokens, we can just place them on the map. We'll go ahead and go to portraits. There's only one, okay. So we'll have him be over here. Okay, again, we're doing the same thing. We're just going to our layer select, stamp, make sure we're in patrons. Change it to these are normal. If anything, they're a little bit larger than average. So we're gonna stick this here. Actually, I'm gonna make him 1.1 or 1.2, just because they are much bigger than the Isoki. So boom, he's talking to his friend. We're gonna have twins over here talking to them. All right, now we're gonna go to tokens, and just for fun, let's put human and see what shows up. All right, so we can use a couple of these for the kids. So we're gonna put a family over here. Play mode. Blink. Gonna make it a little smaller. So you hold down control, shrink it, because that's a child. Put another one right next to her. And actually, I'm gonna delete this one. And we'll make this a little lighter. And then hold down, zoom in, hold control, stick them in a chair. I held down control to highlight it. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, what else we got? What else we got? Let's see. Cool. I like this one. All right, now we have some cool. These are the ones I was looking for to see what kind of cool stuff we have. Here we go. We'll put him. Mom. In the middle of the kids. Dad at the head of the table. All right, and now we'll just put a couple people over here, and we will be good to go. Put him here. Who did I use for dad? I used him, so we'll put these two talking to each other. See what else we've got to work with here. Like this guy. I like him a lot. I'll replace it with this guy. They'll be sitting talking to each other. Put him here at the table just for funsies. These guys. Put the map guy with these guys. He's definitely not a human, but okay. Okay. Friend of mine bought me these tokens packs. So, using them up, man. Using them up. I'm going to put these two Shobad by themselves. Actually, I think I'm going to move these guys over to here because we need a place for the party to stay. Just sit if they want to sit together. We go here to the Shobad. I'm going to move him over to here. Put him. So we go back to play mode because when you're in tokens, you're dealing with play mode. When you're in dealing with layers, you move with the go to layers mode. I just wanted them sitting next to each other. And then we're going to take this guy and we're going to flip it. Back to play mode. Boom. There we go. Okay. So there we go. We got our bar. Got the people in the bar. We can add the other people to the, when we add them to the combat tracker, we will not make them enemies, and so they will also show up here before the players come in. So everything will be here, and we are all set and ready to go. All right, so I also wanted to, we're going to be adding some sounds, changing, making a new sound bar for this second Fugitive on a Red Planet. So be watching for that. Make sure you like and subscribe because I'll be showing you how to do all that stuff. The other thing I wanted to do real quick is make a quick encounter for them as sort of a filler encounter. So when it talks about building encounters, you determine the average party level, which is 1. Refer to table 11-1 on page 390 to right here. So the challenge rating should be, if I want it to be a challenging, the average party level +1. So the challenging for level 1 should be 2. Now we have 5 players, which is a slightly higher than average. So 2.5 to 3 is what we will want as far as our challenge rating for our fights. We're going to go in here. We're going to go to challenge rating 1/2. And I want to go ahead and go with type. Let's go with undead just for fun. So we have skeletal undead. Let's go to CR1. There we go. Don't know what an occult zombie is. Mage undead. Weakness is staggered. Always consider staggered. Never take more than a single move or standard action. Okay. So these are pretty easy. And then these guys. So he can do paralysis. When a ghoul deals damage to a creature or gain a paralyzed condition. And if they're elves, we do have an elf. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to find a ship map. Go to my images. I have a Galactic Cruiser Fantasy Grounds Meander map pack. So let's see. Let's go to the thumbnail module. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. I mean the. All right, never mind. All right, so let's go to the Cap Cruise Quarters map. See what that looks like. Oh, look, let's go to the cargo bay. A little better. Medical and quarantine bay. Colony quarantine on the moon. Okay. Cryogenic chamber. Mess hall and kitchen. There we go. That'll be fun. So this is just a quick aside that they're going to be tasked to go put these undead to rest. So we're going to go to here, to our encounters. Uncategorized just means it's the new one. Oh, anything I've made. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the. I'll stick with the uncategorized. And I'm going to make it downtime counter DE 01 downtime encounter. So that way I can, if I want to do another one, so I click here for plus. So if I want to do another one, I can just make it DE02. All right, so right now to see our 3, just with these 2 creatures, with the 5 players we've got, let's see, they are. Let's take a look at their. So their EAC is 12, his is 11, and they're staggered all the time. I'm not sure why they're so high. Let's see. Defense, I mean, the hit points 24, 18. All right. So we're going to add 2 more of these. Or let's see. Take a look at our NPCs and see if there's any other. What is a lacunal initiate? That does not look like a undead at all. Let's go to half. There we go. Here's some skeletal undead. And do we have anything for less than that? No. Okay. Isoki. And we'll make this Isoki as well. And we're going to put 2 of the skeletons. No, oops. There we go. 2 of the skeletons. Okay. So we check our grid. I want the grid. This should be about. I'm going to say this is going to be about 5'8". Let's take a look and see what it says. The grid is. Again, I had to be careful not to spend too much time on this. This is just a quick. I want them to be a little bit higher XP. Yeah, the grid is virtually perfect. So we'll go here to the tint, change it to like a greenish tint. Look at our, so if you're looking here, you'll see there is no line of sight. So we come here to line of sight. Take our rectangle. We go over it. What's happening? It should be rectangle. Okay. Wall. Yes. Why isn't it drawing the line of sight? What's going on? Oh, I have to select the image first. Okay, now that I have the layer selected where I'm drawing the line of sight, it's still not working. Okay, that's weird. Hmm. All right. Oh, I know. It's locked. There we go. Okay. I'll go on the outside so they can see everything, the drawing and everything. And then we're just going to go in the middle here. Switch to line. Click. And I'm going to use the arrow key. Come all the way over to here. So the arrow key keeps it straight. It looked like it was doing something weird, so I just wanted to check it, make sure. This is the counter where they pass it through. I don't really care, but we'll go ahead and do it this way. So it stops here. Escape to stop. Up to the door and stop. Come on. There we go. Escape. Then we'll do a door. Doors are rectangles, so you can open them and close them. And we just need to go outside the red a little bit. Boom. And then we do a window in here. So the window just means you can see through it. You just can't walk through it. Again, they're usually rectangles, so you can open and close them. In this case, we will not be opening or closing them. And that's it. So we have our line of sight. We will put the 3 Isoki here. Actually, I'm going to unselect it. I'm going to put him on the edges. And we'll put the ghoul in the kitchen. There you go. So they should have no problem with these guys at all. I know it's saying that it's CR4, but this should be no problem. I'm going to go ahead and drag this on here. So it's linked. I'm going to go ahead and change this to let's say the Excursion is the name of the ship. It's a galley. And then we make it unidentified. So this is what they see. I'm going to drag this down into our hotkey. And then we're going to find art. Let's see, images for a zombie. So apparently there aren't zombies. Let's try undead. There we go. Nice art. I like that. Sheeran. Interesting. Okay. Undead minion. We're going to change it, unlock it, change it to Soki Undead. We'll call it good. Again, unidentified. Drag this on here. Poof. And then the ghoul. All right, so there you go. We have the encounter. We have the 2 pictures. We have the setup for them. They'll come in here. And as soon as they're heard, these guys will start running. These guys will come over here. The ghoul will come over there. We're good. And I'll get a little bit more experience. Get them that much closer to level 2. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here for today. Take a break. It's 2:30. We probably come back here in a few minutes with some Wizard 101. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by, Drake. I appreciate you very much. We will be not. There's no game tonight, but tomorrow, Thursday, there will be D&D. So be sure to come back for that. And hey, Atomic's here as well. Appreciate you saying hi. Like I said, I'll be back here probably. Keeping busy, too busy. I'll probably be back here 20 minutes or so, half an hour, with some Wizard 101. Really enjoying that, spending a lot of time on that. And then, like I said, tonight no game, but tomorrow night there is a stream. And so make sure you like, subscribe, so you know what's going on and when. Go to the Using the Tubes. Check out Search Spencer 77. You can find more of these Starfinder and Dungeons and Dragons in Fantasy Grounds Unity. If you have questions, put them in the comments. And whatever else you do, enjoy the rest of your day.